If you love having a laptop almost as much as you love beating up your laptop, then you might want to kick around the Durabook.
If you drop your laptop as much as Olivia, you're going to need the Durabook. Its magnesium alloy case makes it drop resistant, the anti-shock mounting protects the LCD screen, and the keyboard and touchpad are spill resistant. Plus, the Intel Centrino Duo processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and 160 gigabyte hard drive make it super quick. So pick one up, then drop it, starting at $1,950.
Yeah, I killed my laptop.
Yes, you did.
Right here. Now, normally you think of rugged laptops as bulky, but this one, I have to say, is pretty sleek.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
Yep.
so look at this one. It's only 1.5 inches thick, all right, no protruding edges. It is a little heavier at 6 pounds, but other than that, I like it. But do you think the ruggedness gets in the way?
No, I don't think it really does at all. I mean, the keyboard and the touchpad are widely spaced. They're easy to use. The 15-inch display is nice. But here's the problem. The LCD's shock mounting is reflective, and so it makes it hard to see at certain angles. And by certain, I mean almost any. And especially if you're trying to use your laptop at all, like outside, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it's not ugly like your typical weatherproof notebook, so we do give it points for that. I mean, the screen isn't as bad as I make it to sound, but
no, you can still see.
It definitely has some glare at certain angles. Yeah, but it's definitely usable.
You are very picky about your screen, so I didn't know that. Now, its specs are about the same as other rugged laptops, like the Panasonic Toughbook. You guys remember that one? But it also has 1 less gig of RAM.
Yes.
Which means it only has 2 gigs total.
That's 1 less.
Yes. So how do you think how does it rate in our PC Mark test?
Respectable, actually. It did okay. It scored about 4,200 points in PC Mark 05, which is pretty good. You're not going to be doing any serious gaming or video editing on this thing, but it still works well enough if you want to float 100 transparent windows on top of each other. That test ran okay. So for productivity purposes, you're fine. Like you're typing and whatnot, there you go.
If you're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, now
if
finally,
you want to off-road and Word at the same time, there you go.
This is it.
You know?
Well, okay, it is finally time to find out what this laptop is really made of. So we have to put on safety goggles.
Do we?
Because we're going to do some damage.
We have to put on safety goggles?
Because it makes us look cooler.
Okay, yeah, let's put it on. All right, so first of all, there's the old shock test. So, these are fashionable, too. I'm glad we got this. So as long as the hard drive isn't accessing, you should be able to shake the hell out of it with no problem. Like, really get in there.
Harder.
Yeah, scramble it, baby's brains.
Yeah.
Still working. Still good to go, actually.
All right,
it's just
now,
fine.
is there a drop test?
There's a drop test, and there's also a spill test that we can put it through.
Okay.
But, you know, so let's say a drop, which is what killed your laptop.
Yeah, from this exact height.
Right, your laptop was closed. It was right back here behind home base.
Around there, they said.
Yeah, fine, about there. So that was about. Oh.
Wait, pick it back up.
Well, that was about the same size.
Oh, what'd you do?
Well, the battery just pops out for easy access after it's been dropped, and then you just slide it in. And no, that's typical. The CD drive normally pops open when you drop it, but we'll fire it up here. It probably suspended, and then the battery popping out probably nuked it. But it's booting up just fine. We've dropped it at that height several times.
Come back on.
Never had a problem. That's pretty much the height right about there. It's like 2.5 feet or so. They say the drop is fine. You definitely don't want to like get it up here and then let it go. Because
the battery again.
Okay, well you don't want to do that because it probably won't boot back up. It's probably not good for the laptop. But let's see.
Is it booting back up?
Oh yeah, booting back up, no problem.
There it is.
So we'll give it to them. It's pretty sturdy.
Now you said there's a spill test?
Spill test, yeah. You know, for when you're rating and your wows and you're drinking your Jolt Colas, you crazy kids.
I was at a bar the other day having Bloody Marys in the middle of the day, and some stupid woman next to me decides to have her laptop at the bar, and I spilled my drink on it.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, but you shouldn't have a laptop at a bar.
Right.
All right.
And you shouldn't be at a bar at noon, but that's another story. So let's say you want to email the producers of Intervention while you're sitting there at the bar.
Okay, so I'm going to be typing.
And Olivia comes up and goes, "Excuse me, I'd like to blog with you, but with the pouring on the laptops. I'm sorry, I'm just pouring on the laptop and on the screen and whatnot."
Kevin?
What? It's a spill test, and as you see, the water actually drains off to the sides. It's totally fine. We ran it under a kitchen sink, and we're still able to type on it with no problem. So totally good. But again, just remember that, like, look, it's running just fine. Windows is right there. Mouse is still responsible, so it works. See, you're good to go. You just definitely want to make sure that if you've got it up on something this high and this slippery, that you don't drop it off, because that would again be very bad for the laptop.
Wow. All right, well, it starts at $1,950, which is about $800 less than the comparable Panasonic Toughbook. but we've damaged it a lot, and it seems to be working. So is it worth it?
Yes. I'm glad we had those goggles. Look, is this worth it? Yes. If you really need a rugged laptop, which it might sound like a given at this point, but here's why. The same specs are a lot cheaper on a normal non-rugged notebook, so make sure you absolutely need this thing to be drop and shock and spill resistant. Other than that, it's one of the most affordable rugged computers that we've seen. So well done, guys.
So what do we give it?
We're going to give it 3 out of 5. So we like its affordability and we like the features. But even though obviously we're playing around during the review, we do have a few doubts about how rugged it may actually be. I mean, we did drop it one time and it failed to go into standby mode. That could have been a bad thing for the hard drive. So we don't know about the long-term durability. But right now it's covered in liquid and the battery compartment's open. So if it boots up again, maybe we'll give them another quarter seal or something.
All right. Well, that's it for today's Gadget Pond. But if you have a gadget you would like to see us rate, log on to G4TV.com/review this.